Good morning. Good morning.
It worked. It's like
I'm going to give you guys just a second to get in your seat so you can relax, and then we'll have prayer. If you would like to close your eyes, to just shut out the world and just totally relax and go within. Go to your heart space. Just totally relax your body. And take a couple of deep breaths. Holy Spirit, thank you for breathing us again today. Thank you for helping us to remember that we are the light of the world. That to be that light, we need to forgive others and ourselves over and over and over. We need to focus on the good in others and the good in ourselves. When we continuously affirm our good, our love, our light shines bright. So let the God light in us always be the focus of our attention. By doing so, we are always prepared to forgive others and ourselves, and to love others and ourselves. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. Is everybody ready to stand and sing? This Big Light of Mine.
I think that's the wrong tempo. It's
We can make it work.
I got it ready earlier and then it switched. Let's see. I see what happened. All right. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. When in doubt and darkness, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When I greet my brothers, I'm gonna let it shine. When I greet my brothers, I'm gonna let it shine. When I greet my brothers, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When I greet my sisters, I'm gonna let it shine. When I greet my sisters, I'm gonna let it shine. When I greet my sisters, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When I need an answer, I'm gonna let it shine. When I need an answer, I'm gonna let it shine. When I need an answer, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. In all my daily living, I'm gonna let it shine. In all my daily living, I'm gonna let it shine. In all my daily living, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, shine, let it shine. In the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This big light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you, Don. That's a great way to start us off this morning. And now we'll say our mission statement together. We are a spiritual community inspiring transformation through love, joy, and integrity. Thank you, and please be seated. Well, welcome to Unity of East Louisville. Wherever you are on your spiritual adventure, you are welcome here today on this slightly rainy morning, which is actually very refreshing. I know, it feels good, doesn't it? Cools things down just a teeny bit. So thank you so much for being here. If there's anybody new today besides our guest, Reverend Wally White, we welcome you and hope you got a welcome package from the ushers and greeters who greeted you with a smile this morning. If you did not get a welcome packet and you would like one, please raise your hand and they'll bring you one. But otherwise, thanks for being here. Thanks if you're watching us online, and if you're not feeling well, we hope you feel better soon, and we send you loving, healing energy, and hope you'll be back with us again sometime soon. We want to thank everybody who made today possible. We've got Les back there on the sound, and Bob helping him out with the tech, and then we've got our ushers and greeters, and our chaplains who are here to pray with you at the end of the service. We have our wonderful Don, who's always here faithfully every week. My gosh, thank you, Don. We got the best musician in town, and we've got our very own Charlie playing music for us this morning. And last minute, thank you, Charlie. And we have a special guest speaker, Reverend Wally White. I'm sorry, that was written wrong on the spreadsheet, so now I'm reading it wrong. I apologize for that. He's visiting us today, and he's going to talk on the idea of acting, and that's an acronym that he'll explain to us later, and talk about the fact that he is both a minister and an actor, and was in the movie, is it Hello, God? Or Are You There? Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I don't know if anybody saw that, but it's a great one. He played the minister in it, right? Yeah, that was a great movie, so thanks for being here. Extra thanks. If you haven't already done so, please turn off your cell phones. A couple of announcements. Kristen, you weren't here when we thanked you for working outside, but thank you. Since you're here, we'll thank you again. Lots of grounds work. Much appreciated. You and Jose and all your helpers, fantastic. The grounds look wonderful. They really got a real mess when the storm came through too, so extra work out there. We're still doing the EACM collection for Eastern Area Community Ministries. The list of items that they need is back there on the back shelf and underneath are the baskets. If you want to put your items in there, I'll pick them up when the baskets get full. So I'm seeing that, I'm visioning the baskets full of items for EACM, and the list of what they really need is on the sheet, as opposed to just bringing, you can bring anything you want, but that a pantry might need, but those are their most wanted items. So we thank you in advance for that. A Course of Miracles is showing a documentary on this coming Thursday, the 27th at 6:30. That info is on your weekly email news. The ladies are having their lunch at the Goose on Linden Lane Friday at 11:30. And if you'd like to join that, I believe an email or a text will be sent out, probably, right, Colleen? Usually there's a text sent out if you'd like to join them, but make sure and let Colleen or Kathy Schmidlin know. The shamanic drumming is happening on the last Monday of the month, which is actually tomorrow, the 24th. That's here, and I believe it starts at 6:30, I'm not sure, but that's 6:15, thank you. And then the picnic dinner looking ahead is July 13th, and more info about all of that is online on the weekly email or the website that Bob keeps up for us very well. Thank you, Bob, for doing that too. There's so much going on behind the scenes all the time that, anybody know? Tell them your plans. That's a well-known one, right? And then I saw this one online that I thought was really cute. A well-meaning but misguided stranger said, "My kids were so good, they must go to church." My 6-year-old said, with the deadpan delivery of a trained actor, "What's church?" Isn't that great? And the last one that I have for you, while going through the deceased father's things, a man found a 25-year-old claim stub for a shoe repair. Curious, he went to the store and handed the ticket to the owner, who headed to the back of the store. Reappearing, he said, "Good news, I found them. They'll be ready next Friday." Greet each other in love and joy this morning.
And you have so many books for me to look at that I spend my time on. I just saw one that I just started a Bible that said Breaking the Ten Commandments. I haven't heard that. And I've been doing the Ten Commandments series. I'm going to have to work out. Greensboro Carolina. I drove to the village.
Oh, okay.
So I'm on my way back.
Make your way back to your seats. We're going to sing.
I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now. You are free, you are unlimited. There are no chains that bind you. You are free, you are unlimited. Right now, right now. You are free, you are unlimited. There are no chains that bind you. You are free, you are unlimited. Right now, right now. You are free, we are unlimited. There are no chains that bind us. We are free, we are unlimited. Right now, right now. We are free, we are unlimited. There are no chains that bind us. We are free, we are unlimited. Right now, right now.
Good morning. Today's word is generous. I honor the dignity in others through my generosity. There have been times when I relied on the generosity of others. I remember feeling grateful when they shared what they had with open hearts, not thinking about how I might repay their kindness. This is the true gift of generosity, not just the material offered or the services rendered, but the feeling that I am worthy of someone's time, treasure, and effort. This love and compassion is at the heart of my generous impulses too. I give, not out of pity or even out of obligation or duty, but so others may know their worthiness through me. Each person is a divine being made in the image and likeness of God. I honor each person's divinity by doing what I can to help and support them, as others have helped and supported me. The scripture is from Proverbs 22, verse 9. Those who are generous are blessed, for they share their bread with the poor. And again, today's word is generous.
Our Creator, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
As we use that invitation of song to accept the right here, right now, it is already all right. For those of us who are experiencing joyful times, we embrace them. We embrace the smiles, the laughter. We take time to pay attention to what that feels like in our bodies so that we can remember it later. And for those of us who are possibly experiencing some type of challenge, we remind ourselves that we are always in the presence and one with God. And that these experiences that we are having are simply learning opportunities to make future times in life a little easier. I can say that because right here, right now, I have taken the time to be fully in the presence of God. That presence that lives within each of us that presence that only each of us can go within to find individually. Thank you, God. I remind myself in the oneness that I am one with God, that I am one with all people, that I am one with all life, and that I am one with the one. For there is only one, just God, just God. And so I invite you all to do a little breathing exercise with me. The saying normally goes, I let go and I let God. But for this exercise, I'm going to invite you to breathe in, I let God, and breathe out, I let go. I let God. I let go. I let God. I let go. I can let it go because I have faith in the Creator of all things, including me. I have faith in that God is good all the time, and I'm one with that. With that confidence, with that assurance, I go into the silence. As we slowly begin to bring our attention back into the space, affirm with me, this is a good day. This is a good day. Today is a good day. And so it is.
Good morning. Good morning. Is it just me, or do y'all ever feel like you're like playing a role in life? Or maybe in various situations, you're playing a role, and it's like, whoa, I don't know about this, but maybe I need to bust out of this role. Do something different. That kind of connects to this song. fun song. If y'all laugh, it's okay. They're gonna put me in the movies. They're gonna make a big star out of me. Make a film about a man that's sad and lonely. And all I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I'll bet you I'm gonna be a big star. Might win an Oscar, you can't never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star. Cause I can play that part so well. I hope you'll come and see me in the movies. Then I'll know that you were plainly see the biggest fool ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally. Make a scene about a man that's sad and lonely and begging down upon his bending knee. I'll play the part and I won't need rehearsing. All I gotta do is act naturally. I'll bet you I'm gonna be a big star. Might win an Oscar, you can't never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star. Cause I can play that part so well. Well, I hope you'll come and see me in the movies. And then I know that you will plainly see the biggest fool ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally. They're gonna put me in the movies. They're gonna make a big star out of me. Make a film about a man that's sad and lonely. And all I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I'll bet you I'm gonna be a big star. Might win an Oscar, you can't never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star. Cause I can play that part so well. Well, I hope you'll come see me in those movies. Then I'll know that you will plainly see the biggest fool ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally. And all I gotta do is act naturally. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So I have to start by telling y'all, I'm generally, especially in a church environment, a hugger. But I've been to the Unity Convention, and I tested positive last night. But I hung out with some people who have tested positive since they got home. So I decided to wear my mask and not shake hands or hug none of y'all people. So, but I have tested and I feel confident, or I wouldn't have been here. But I'm looking forward to being here, and I thank you all for having me here. I always turn a timer on. I say I can talk forever about absolutely nothing, and I like this stuff. So, I also like lunch, though. I suspect y'all do as well. A story that I don't have in my notes that I thought of when you rehearsed that song earlier, back in, I don't even know what year it was, maybe 2007, 2008, I booked a lead role in a national commercial. It was my first national commercial. I'd had like some smaller ones here or there, but I had a friend. I worked in the production office for the soap opera Guiding Light in the 90s. And one of my friends who was an actor on that show had done an Excedrin commercial, and he made like $80,000 off of that commercial and was about to get another run of it that was going to get him into six figures. But Excedrin hired a new CEO who decided to change the label. So the bottle he was holding up was no longer good. So his run ended. But I was thinking of him when I booked this commercial, right? And this was a Burger King commercial. It was supporting the Simpsons movie, and I was playing the guy. Everybody that walked in and ordered stuff was getting shot by a laser gun and turned into a Simpson. And I was Homer Simpson. I weighed a little more then, and still had to push my gut out. But So anyway, we shot the commercial. We did all that stuff. In those days, my day job, I worked in the events department for the home office of the United Church of Religious Science, which is now known as CSL. And I was on my way to a place called Asilomar for a week-long conference they were doing, somewhere between LA and there. It was about I forget, 6-hour drive or so, let's say. I stopped off and went into a Burger King to get some lunch. And the commercial had just started airing. And I was like, they're probably going to recognize me. They did not. They did not. And then I'm at this conference that's, I don't even know, there were a lot of people at this week-long conference, and I was like, some of them are probably going to recognize me. And then one of the early people to check in for the conference was an actor. At the time, there was a bank called Washington Mutual, and they had a really funny set of commercials running a lot. And one of the guys from the Washington Mutual commercial showed up. And then another lady who was the voice of House Hunters was there. Nobody recognized me. But anyway, it was fun anyway. The movie also didn't do well, so the commercial didn't run all that long. But I was a theater major in college, and I said, I went out to Los Angeles. I lived out there for 16 years. I grew up in North Carolina in a small town just north of Greensboro. And I said I went to Hollywood to be an actor and came home a minister. I went one Sunday early on to moving out there and to see what I thought I was just going in to see a favorite movie star or a TV star, which was Della Reese. And Della had a church that she had founded that was not technically a unity church. It was under the different umbrella, which is known as UFBL, or Universal Foundation for Better Living. Teaches the exact same Fillmore Library. So I went in there just trying to be a fan and ended up joining the choir and singing for 10 years and learning unity principles from Della, and then going back home to North Carolina, where I'm now the senior minister at Unity in Greensboro. So the title for today is a title that I'm working on putting a workshop together. And when Valerie told me that your theme right now is, I forget the exact wording she told me, but something about play and having fun and that part of spirituality, I was like, well, I'm working on putting this workshop together. So let me, start looking at some of that. So what ultimately I want to look at and help other people find within them is something we hear about, but it's easier to talk about it than to do it, which is exercising empathy, right? And then it's like, well, what does empathy mean exactly? So here's what the dictionary says. It says it is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. I don't know about that sharing of other people's feelings. Like, you can only feel through your own vehicle that we've been assigned for this go-round of life, right? So, but you can get a whole lot of understanding, especially if you take the time to think about what experiences maybe somebody else is having. See, we all showed up here today with everything from birth until this moment that creates our own filters. And no matter what I say, I know what I mean by my own experience. But y'all had y'all's own, you were busy living your own lives, so you don't know what filters, I've got cooking as I say and think what I think, right? So that's where it's just about giving people the grace that perhaps there are people who said something that we don't care for, but we also don't have to condemn them, and we don't get any right to tell anybody else what they can say. We can try. We can tell people, don't say that. But you don't have, that won't stop them from thinking. I guarantee you, if you tell somebody not to say something, the very next thought that they say inside is exactly that. Right? It's like, if I say to you all right now, don't think about a pink elephant. Anybody picture a pink elephant? Anybody see that picture that's been going around on social media right now? Apparently there's such a thing as pink dolphins. I didn't know that. Apparently the picture that I saw that was claiming there had been one in North Carolina is not true. But with that, it says that pink dolphins really do exist. So I'm at least excited about that they exist somewhere in the world, right? So back to the notes. When I first heard a topic that tends to get approached in a very heavy type of way, and is now mostly described as DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I first heard it called IDEA. I'm not fond of DEI as the description because the first thing I hear is I flip that E and I and I just hear die, and I'm like, that feels dark and heavy, and But if you stick the A back on it, right, and the A generally means accessibility. Recently, when I was thinking about this, the word adaptability came up, and I think that one works really, really well too. Adaptability helps you get to accessibility, right? So, and also, I think it helps us all in getting to a place of our thinking nature. That's what we teach in Unity. When we get into metaphysics, it's a study of our own consciousness. It's a study of our own thinking and feeling nature. It's a way of helping us get to some thoughts that are more helpful to us, especially in the time when, we're thinking of words we're not supposed to say in church specifically, and we're looking at a way to breathe ourselves into our kinder nature that exists in us, but we all have that moment that we're not feeling any examples of kindness, right? So, and in those moments we breathe, we just take a breath. You just take the breath, right? Although I recently I look at Facebook way too much. I saw some meme that said counting to 10 makes it premeditated. But count to 10 anyway, try it out. Then maybe it won't be premeditated. Maybe you'll actually not do it. So, but what I like also about using the term idea in this particular topic is that if we want a different experience around those topics of being inclusive to everyone, Unity churches say all the time, everyone's welcome. Are they? If somebody that practices God in a completely different way comes in and it's like, is there at least a disturbance from you in that moment? Do you have to remind yourself, right? So saying I'm inclusive, I think everybody should be included, is an easy statement to say because it's easy to recognize the truth in it, right? But it's a little harder to practice because we have our own life experience. And so we have to make ourselves do it. So when we call this group of words together the idea instead of DEI, for me, it's an immediate reminder, oh yeah, this is about what I'm thinking or how I'm thinking, and am I willing to give a different perspective of thinking on this, right? So I always like to get some kind of Bible metaphysics in when I'm speaking on a Sunday. So here is some verses from Matthew 5:38 through 42, which gives us challenge of some of how we think about stuff, right? It says, ye have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, resist not him that is evil, but whosoever smileth thee on the I don't know what smileth means, on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man would go to law with thee, would sue you, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go 1 mile, go with him 2. Give him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow thee, turn not thou away. So I like to go find the traditional church language when I'm looking at the metaphysics so that I can then really go from what becomes some red flags, right, in the language, stuff that I'm like, no, I don't do. I'm new thought now. I can't keep looking at them old thoughts. I'm new thought, right? But this is how we get to those new thoughts of like, well, but what if everything in the Bible is looked at metaphysically and we can use it in a whole different way to shift our own thinking and our feeling about something, right? Having empathy for someone doesn't mean that you go from not liking what they said or did to suddenly saying, oh, well, it's okay. It's simply understanding that they went through whatever they went through to make them think in that moment what they said or did was the appropriate thing for themselves in that moment, right? So that's where we find grace. And we can find some forgiveness. Forgiveness also doesn't mean I forgive you. What you did was perfectly good. Doesn't mean that at all, right? Most of the forgiveness is about us releasing our own negative experience so that we're not carrying that around. Story on that one of my associate ministers in LA told me years ago that's always helped me. Said these two men are on a path, and I think they're monks. They vowed to never touch a woman, right? And they come to a river, and there's this woman there, and she's trying to figure out how to get across, but she just can't do it. So one of the monks offers to pick her up and to carry her across the river. And everybody gets across the river, and she goes her way, and these two keep going their own way. Now they've gone another 10, 15 minutes down the road, and this one, who didn't carry anybody but himself, has been kind of gruffy and mad ever since they got to the other side of the river. So finally this guy said, what is up? What is wrong with you? And he said, we vowed to never touch a woman, and you picked that woman up, and you touched her, and you carried her across that river. And he said, well, I sat her down like 10 or 15 minutes ago. You've been carrying her ever since. Right? Because our biggest action is in our heads, right? That's what we carry around. We have to question ourselves on what we're giving free rent to that we'd prefer not to be roommates with, right? And on what thoughts are benefiting us. There are troubled thoughts that benefit us as long as you get the information you need to get from it and cut it loose, right? But in those moments, so this verse, why this verse? Because it started with that whole eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth thing, and revenge should be sought, right? And then Jesus showed up and said, no. Not only should you not, if they take one thing from you, should you not try and get it back, you should give them more. You should practice non-resistance because there's plenty of everything. Give them that coat. You're either going to get just a whole lot better coat or 5, right? It's like finding that place. Try today, later on, if you're driving around, to let somebody cut in front of you. Even though if they did it on their own, I let you do that. You're welcome. I hope you get to where you must be in a bigger hurry than me. I bless you along your way. See, I'm saying this to y'all, but I got a 7-hour drive back to North Carolina after I'm done here today. So I can guarantee you I'm going to remind myself that I said this right after I said some other unkind words or gave them some sign language, one of them. So I think we're supposed to have fun in church, right? Yes. So I'm going to get to this other stuff. So it's about practicing non-resistance. And this is what, so I don't know who wrote this, but this was on truthunity.net so it was a Unity writer on why practice the non-resistance. Because practicing it leaves our conscience free of self-condemnation. It's not about the other person. It's about releasing from ourselves that mad, that sad, that angry. It's like, those are fine. Those are like heat on a stove. They let you know, don't touch that. Or this moment is not a moment that's serving me well. Okay, then let me back out of it instead of staying in it and now being mad and sad and on purpose, right? All of them can be beneficial. They're like traffic signs. They let us know when we're on the path we want to be on and when we maybe made a turn that's not serving us well. Notice I didn't say wrong. That's not because I don't think it's a wrong turn. It's because a bunch of Unity folks don't like that word, and there's no such thing as wrong. Okay, then drive down that road and see where it gets you. So the question then comes in, what if someone who we're having a disagreement with is and has a completely opposite opinion of us? What if they're not wrong? What if nobody's wrong? We just have different thoughts about it, right? We're in an election year. Look, I was raised in politics. I literally was the baby that got kissed on the cheek when my uncle was running for Congress when I was an infant, right? So I've been involved in it. But I will never tell you my political opinion, not only from this position, in this building, right? Because this should be a place that is inclusive of all thinkers, of people who vote for all people, all that kind of stuff, right? But that doesn't mean that at some point we don't come across some ideas that we find it hard to not only get behind that other person even has. But it's like, well, can I like you anyway? Can I love you even if I'm not experiencing love back from you? That's the question. Politics is an easy thing to bring up for that this year, right? They say at the dinner table, you shouldn't talk about politics or religion. Well, in 2020, when I got hired at Unity in Greensboro, I was running for office. I ran for the North Carolina Senate, and I was a preacher. Well, I didn't know what else to talk about. But in those moments. So here's the thing. I was going to invite y'all to take, well, here's what I'll say on it. If you got a shoe that's easy to take off, mine's tied. My shoe's not coming off right now because it'd take me a while to come back on. If you got a shoe that's easy to take off, I invite you to take one off to look at it for a second. This is an acting exercise. And I bring up acting because when you're taking on a role as an actor, you have to take on and understand why this other person who is not you is saying or doing whatever they're saying. If you're playing the good guy, if you're playing the funny guy, all that, that's a little bit easier, right? But if you got cast to play the bad guy, you're going to take, first of all, I don't know, an actor that's not going to take the job because it's a check attached to that usually, right? But you can't play bad. You also can't play funny. The second you are trying to be funny, not a shot, right? Not a shot. I just saw an interview with an acting coach that said that this couple were talking and this guy's like, you know, there's this line in this play, it's funny, but I don't understand why I never get a laugh when I'm asking for that coffee. And she said, you really don't know? And he's like, no, it's a funny moment. And she said, well, that's because you keep asking for the laugh instead of for the coffee, right? So when you're acting, you have to be all in understanding who that person is. So this shoe thing that I asked you to take off and then start on another topic. That was one of my early lessons, was the shoes that you're wearing has to matter. Now, I'm telling you, if you go do some community theater here in Louisville at some point, you're not going to have a budget to buy all new shoes that would fit that character. But then you got to look at the shoes that you're wearing and figure out why they're that character's shoes, right? So let's say there are these shoes that I think I bought for $20 on sale somewhere, and I'm playing a millionaire. So I know they're $20 shoes. I can't stop knowing that because I know it because I paid for them, right? But I got to justify what this character now thinks about that. And it's worthy of spending some time to think about that because then it affects how I walk across the room, right? Like if I'm a millionaire wearing the $20 shoes, I might be a little embarrassed about it. And then I'm just trying to keep your attention up here somehow, saying something, right? But if I'm playing a homeless person who just got these shoes, and they're the new to me shoes, not even new shoes, I'm strutting a little bit now, right? Because like, look at these. I didn't have shoes like this before. You ever had? You right? So it affects how you feel. And once you get into feeling something, your feelings affect how you speak. They affect what you say often too, but they really affect how you speak. And so I look at these acting exercises because you can't give anything that you don't have, right? So before you work on being inclusive and saying, I'm going to be diverse and I'm going to, all these things, that's a wonderful place to get to. To get there in a genuine way, you start by looking within yourself, right? You start by looking with, well, why do I feel this way about this? Why did what this person said feel upsetting to me? Let me ask myself that question, because as I get my own answers, it's like, well, their experience was probably different than mine, right? So I still can think they're wrong about what they said, but have some grace and some understanding about it, right? All right. I brought some scripts, but I know I'm starting to run a little long. So do I have a volunteer who wants to come up and read a line from an actual script that I auditioned for? Come on. Look, we got a microphone and everything. When I do this workshop, it's going to be a lot longer, so I was just trying to get the talking part down. All right. Look, come over here to this, and I'm going to give you a different line than mine. We'll say it's a he, Carrie. The Karen line is what I'm going to have you read. So, just read that line as though you're auditioning for the part.
Have you spoken to Curtis?
Okay. That's the whole line. Somebody auditioned for that. This part, I had one line when I auditioned. This was for the TV show Dope Sick that was on Hulu. So, now, the person you're asking that, you already know they spoke to Curtis, but you're not supposed to know. Now ask the question again.
Have you spoken to Curtis?
Okay. Now, we'll flip that out. This is somebody who you know Curtis is important to, and Curtis is important to you, and you've not been able to get a hold of Curtis. Now ask the question.
Would you say that one more time?
Yeah. You both, Curtis is important to both of you, and you're worried because you can't find Curtis.
Have you spoken to Curtis?
See how this one line with just these few words, right, changes by what the perspective is. I wanted to go, thank you. A singer and an actor.
You hand me a microphone, I'm good to go.
There you go. There's other stuff that we can, I'll leave these scripts behind for you. I got them in my own computer, and you can look at. These were two parts that I actually auditioned for. I didn't get either one of them. But it's in looking at, why am I saying what I'm saying? And then I was told by an actor at one point when I was like, it's literally one line that has, my line that I auditioned for was the one before that said, Miss Moles cannot comment on Mr. Wright's state of mind. That was my entire audition. And so it's like, and they're going to see 100 people read that line. And she's like, you got to build some script in your head. You got to know, no actor walks onto a stage from nowhere. You got to know, where am I coming from into this room, into this scene, right? And you got to, and sometimes it's in the script. You got to read the whole script to get that information. And sometimes you got to make it up. And I use those examples because I'll give you my own example without telling too much, and then I'm going to wrap up. There was a lady that was saying stuff during a discussion group that was happening as part of the Unity Convention on Thursday. I didn't agree with anything this woman said. I didn't even like what she said. I didn't think she was aligned with the spiritual truth that I thought we were all in one with if we, right? But in that moment, I had to accept that I still disagree, and I'd love to give her my perspective and see if it helps her find a little peace in something she's upset about, right? But I also have to understand I didn't have her experiences. So she has a right to be mad because she's had her experience, right? We all have a right to like and dislike what we like because of our own experiences. And when we understand that about ourselves, and it comes up, in the moment you're mad, well, she shouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have ever said that. My mom would have smacked me in the face if I said that out loud in public, right? And it's like, well, you just said out loud what your perspective is on it. Now take a moment to say, what if all of that truth, it was the polar opposite end of that, right? That allows us to have some grace and some love for people in their own moment. That's all that's being invited in that moment. That's what you got to have first before you can truly be authentic about fully being inclusive and welcoming diversity, right? Most of us don't like change too much. It's uncomfortable until you realize the greatest growth. And you think about a flower. All the beautiful flowers we see in spring and in summer, they started having to bust up out of the ground. They had to put work in to get that dirt out of the way so that they could get up. When we're going through our own uncomfortable moments, there's beauty on the other side of it. So in those uncomfortable moments, I invite you to say, oh, I'm looking forward to the beauty of this. I'm looking forward to the beauty of this. And I'm beautiful, and they're beautiful, and life is beautiful. I love you, I bless you, I behold the Christ that absolutely is you, and thank you for having me here today.
I remember my hat this time. Ancient Chinese song, Tu Ning. So the song that I sang earlier, Act Naturally, was co-written by a couple guys by the name of Johnny Russell and Vonnie Morrison. And I wondered if that person was Ken Van Morrison. But in this song, that same Johnny Russell had a pretty big hit with, it's a country song, and I came into my consciousness a long time ago, but seemed appropriate right now, and I'd like to play this song in honor of the recent holiday, Juneteenth. Sorry I missed Linda's talk about it last week, but Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around old Catfish John. But come the morning, I'd always be there, walking in his footsteps in that sweet Delta dawn. Catfish John was a river hobo, lived down by the river's bend. Looking back, I still remember I was proud to be his friend. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging round old Catfish John. But come the morning, I'd always be there, walking his footsteps in that sweet Delta dawn. Born a slave in the town of Vicksburg, traded for a chestnut man. He never spoke a word in anger, though his load was hard to bear. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging round old Catfish John. But come the morning, I'd always be there, walking his footsteps in sweet Delta dawn. Let me dream of another morning from a time so long ago, when those sweet magnolias blossomed and the cotton fields were white as snow. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging round old Catfish John. But come the morning, I'd always be there, walking his footsteps in sweet Delta dawn. Now come the morning, I'd always be there, walking his footsteps in that sweet Delta dawn.
Well, thank you for that beautiful music, Charlie, and thank you for that wonderful talk. Excuse Excuse me, Reverend Wally. Really appreciate you being here. That's such a great perspective to get from the acting side with the empathy. I love that. Loved listening to Charlie try and do all the different meanings behind the, have you talked to Curtis or whatever? Yeah. Have you seen him? That's great. That's a good thing to take with us through the week, is thinking about the other person's perspective, where they came from, why maybe are they angry, why are they happy, why are they trying to cut you off in traffic? Anyway, thanks so much. We're so lucky to have such good speakers and good music here. Excuse me. Now it's time to take your offering in your hand as we say the blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Thank you, sweet, sweet Spirit. We are so grateful for all of these generous souls that are here contributing to our church and our charities. We are so very blessed. And so it is. Amen.
Our chaplains are coming up front to pray with you at the end of the service if you need any prayer help. And now we're going to say the prayer for protection today. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we'll sing the peace song together.
Now there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and now it begins.